Well, hello, Facebook family and friends. Phil Walls here. Fear kills dreams. As simple as that. And there's six basic fears that we work with out there. How many of you have a dream that you're holding in your mind that you always wanted to fulfill, and yet every time you think you want to start a project to actually go after your dream, something stands in the way. Something prevents you from doing it. Something comes up every single time. Well, most of the time, it's some type of fear in our lives that we have not addressed. Fear is the main culprit that's kept more people in poverty than anything else. So, why am I talking to you today? Because I have just recently discovered that there's a lot of fears in my life that I've gone through a whole lifetime that I've never addressed until now. I've started addressing my fears, and I've got something called a fear list. And I wrote every fear down that I'm aware of, and I was blatantly honest with the fears that I have. And I wrote them down on a list. And every time I address a fear and overcome it, I check it off of that list. And I keep checking it off of that list. And I'm down to two things, which to me is amazing because the list was fairly long initially. And then I put down every fear that I could think of, fear of talking on Facebook, or fear of getting in front of people and talking, or fear of swimming, or, there's a whole lot of different fears that I wrote down. And, I noticed that as I check those fears off, everything gets a little bit lighter. It's like I'm carrying less and less and less of a burden on me. And it's just absolutely amazing. I like getting on Facebook and talking to people out there because you know what? Facebook is an excellent tool for us to communicate ideas, thoughts, um, talk about business, anything that we were going to talk about. Facebook Live is available for us to do that. A lot of us are not going to get on Facebook Live because, again, it's a fear that we have. We have a fear of being exposed to millions of people in a public forum. It's easy to make a mistake. It's easy to say something wrong. You might stutter. You might look bad, right? But we're all human beings, right? And human beings, when we do things off the cuff, or we do things impromptu, it is a possibility that we can make a mistake. It's a possibility that we can look bad. It's a possibility we could say something that just makes absolutely no sense and we could look like idiots for the rest of our lives. But again, you know what? It's a fear. And because of that, it will keep us from doing the things that we need to do to become successful in life or to fulfill that dream that we've always had. There are six basic fears. And I got this out of the book, a wonderful book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So this is not something I came up with, but there are six basic fears. There's the fear of poverty. A lot of us are afraid of not having enough. We're afraid of being poor. We're afraid of not eating. We're afraid of not being able to pay our bills. We're afraid of not being able to make our house payment. We're afraid of not being able to make our car payments. We're afraid of not being able to have enough money when our kids get to college age to send them through college. So, we have this ongoing fear of not having enough. And so most of us stay near or at poverty level because of this basic fear. And it's a fear that we can easily overcome because this fear is unwarranted. Most of us were born into this world and we were born to believe that we could have anything we wanted. But somewhere along the line, someone told us that we couldn't. And someone put that in our minds, and it was embellished in our minds in such a way that it became a belief. And when it became a belief, now it's something that's on autopilot. So that underlying fear is always preventing us from taking that next step forward. And there's the fear of criticism. What will people say if I do this or if I do that? Or what if I do this and I fail? What are people going to do? Are people going to laugh at me? Are people going to make fun of me? Are people going to do what people do? It has nothing to do with where you're going in life and what it's going to take to get you there. That's all depending upon you. So fear of criticism, people are always going to criticize you. Anybody that doesn't agree with your view, anybody that doesn't agree with what you're doing, anybody that thinks you're doing something out of the ordinary or something that you shouldn't be able to do, they're going to criticize you, whether it's to your face or what's behind your back, but you're always going to have criticism in your life. Fear of ill health. That's a big one. And this is one that, I had to overcome because I had a really, really deep fear a while back of dying. So that fear was an overwhelming fear. It took over my life for a while, but I had to learn to overcome it. I had to find a way to overcome that fear of dying. And so when I overcame that fear, I was able to start getting well again. Fear of loss of love of someone. Most of us have somebody out there that we love, right? There's somebody in our lives that we care a lot about, that we'll do anything for. Most of us have somebody we'll die for, whether it be our mother, our children, our spouses. But most of us have someone that we love so deeply that we feel like we couldn't live life without them. So there's an underlying fear there about losing someone that you love. Fear of old age. So we're afraid of old age because of all the stipulations that society has put on age. Many of us believe when we get a certain age that life is over, that if we haven't accomplished anything by that time in life, that there's just no way to accomplish it now because we reached a certain age, because somebody told us that when we reach a certain age, if you haven't done it, you're not going to ever do it. Well, hello, Mom. How are you? That's my mother that just popped on. So I want you to think about these fears that I'm talking to you about right now. So fear of old age. When I read God's word, I read the Bible. I don't read anything about a retirement plan. I don't read anything about an age limitation of any kind. Humans have created age limitations. I've heard all my life, if you haven't achieved anything by the age of 40, you're never going to do anything worthwhile in your life. Well, when I read about all these great men and women that have done things after age 40, that makes me understand that age is not a factor. It's only what you believe in your own mind. And then there's fear of death, right? A lot of us are afraid of death because deep down, regardless of what we profess, we've never died, right? So you don't really know what's on the other side, do you? So a lot of us fear death because we don't know what's on the other side. So what's the easiest way to overcome fear? Well, one of the best ways to overcome fear is to, first of all, honestly address the fears that you have. You can't overcome something that you don't address. So once you address them, or once you recognize them, or once you decide to write those fears down so you can see them right in front of you, and so you can do some reflection and make a decision to overcome those fears, you will overcome those fears, right? So each and every one of us, when you talk to anybody out there, you'll find that a lot of people want to do better in life. A lot of people would like to obtain wealth of some sort. What keeps us from doing it? There's something in us that prevents us from moving towards wealth or abundance. Again, a lot of it is fear. A lot of it is things that other people have put in our minds or in our heads about wealth or about abundance. I've heard so many different things coming up in my life about wealthy people. Well, wealthy people are greedy. Wealthy people only think about themselves. Wealthy people don't care about anybody else. Wealthy people just, all they want is money, money, money. Well, all of those, some of those things may be true. Who knows? But, in the long run, that's not why wealthy people get wealthy. Wealthy people get wealthy because of a mindset they've adapted about abundance, and it's attracted to them. And so no matter what they do, they get up in the morning and wealth is coming into their life because of a mindset that they've developed over the years about wealth. So a lot of things we hear about wealth are just not true. I mean, a lot of the negative stuff you hear about wealth is not true. There's nothing wrong with abundance. There's nothing wrong with having wealth in your life. It's not wealth that's the problem. The old saying is the love of money. It's not having money. It's the love of money. So there ought to be other things in your life that you love a lot more than money. But money is a commodity, and money is a tool that you can use in today's society to help you do the things that you need to do. You can help other people. If you don't have anything to help somebody else, you can't do it, right? So if you have somebody that comes to you, they need $400 or $500 or $1,000 or whatever it is they need, and you don't have that to give, you can't help them, right? So God, when he gives us abundance, he gives us that abundance so that we can help those that's less fortunate than us out there. So most of us do, deep down, we have a desire to be wealthy. We got to have faith that we can do it, right? Everything is predicated on what you believe about what you want to achieve in life. If you believe that you can accomplish wealth, if you believe that you can maintain health, if you believe that you can have great relationships out there, if you really believe it and you live in that belief, you will have what you believe. It's plain and simple. And in order to have that, you've got to have a faith, a deep, deep faith, deep down that nobody can touch and nobody can affect, right? So another thing you got to do, you got to make a decision to do something in life. You've got to make a decision to make some type of change in your life. If your life is not going the way you want it to go, you've got to decide that you want to change your life. And you're the only one that can do that. No one else can do it for you. You have to make that internal decision. And once you make that internal decision, you have to take action steps to move forward in your life and move from that thing that you don't want to be in anymore, whatever it is. And a lot of us have things that we're working with in life that we're trying to get out of our lives, right? So every day, my goal when I wake up is I want to go to bed that night being a better person than I was when I woke up. I want to learn something new. I want to try something I've never tried. I want to conquer a fear that I've always had. I want to do this each and every day I wake up. This is something I want to do in my life because I want to get better each and every day. I want to be a better person. I want to live a better life. I want to be able to treat people better. I want to add something to somebody's life. I want to earn more money. I want to create more wealth in my life. I want to leave something behind for those that are going to be here when I'm dead and gone, right? So, I mean, these are some things that I want to do, and I've decided in my life that whatever it is I want to do in my life, I'm going to find a way to take action steps towards doing it. I'm going to get rid of my fear, and I'm going to go out there and do the things that I need to do to get where I want to go in life. What's the other key thing? So we need to be persistent, right? And what persistence means, all that it means is do it until it happens. Whatever it is in your life that you've decided to do it until it happens. Just keep on doing it. Whatever it takes, take one small step a day towards your goal, but do it until it happens. That sounds simple. But a lot of people wake up every day and there's things they want to do in life, but they're not persistent, right? As soon as they come up with something that's a hardship for them, they quit, they stop, or somebody criticizes them, That's enough to make them quit. Or somebody tells them they can't do it. It's enough to make them quit. Or they run out of money, they quit, right? So there's so many different things we use, so many different excuses we use to stop short of our dreams. And I'm here to tell you that I'm here today, alive and well, because God spared my life. And because God spared my life and healed my body, I've decided that fear is no longer going to be anything that's going to conquer me in my life. I'm going to address my fears. I'm going to do things that I normally would not do. And I'm going to continue to do that until I leave this world, because now I'm living life. I'm feeling good about life. I wake up every day feeling absolutely great because I know that I got up that day and I've done something to improve my life, whether I've learned something new, whether I've found a new way to earn income, whether I've done something to improve my business, but I've done something to improve my life at the end of the day. I've done something to make my relationships in life better. I'm starting to let people more and more into my life, developing more friendships. And I'm telling you, it's a great thing when you're living life to the fullest, and when you're addressing all your fears in life and you're doing the things that you love, you really, really enjoy life. And I feel like I've been given a second chance in life. And so since I've been given a second chance in life, I am having a blast. And I want all of you out there, Facebook family and friends, to do the same. Have a blast. Enjoy life. Do the things you really want to do in life. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let people stop you. Don't let your fears stop you. Don't let anything stop you from doing what you want to do in life. You know, there's a story in this book, Think and Grow Rich. And it's about this guy. His name was R.U. Darby. And R.U. Darby, during the gold rush, he had the gold fever. He wanted to go out and he wanted to find gold, right? He knew it would make him wealthy. And so he went out west. He found him a gold mine, and he got the equipment there. He dug up the gold and he pulled out that gold ore, and he made plenty of money. He made all kinds of money, right? And then he ran into a fault in the ground, and there was no more gold, right? And so he decided to quit. He decided that there was no more gold there. So he sold the land very cheaply and all of his equipment to this old guy. Well, this old guy went and got a surveyor to survey the land. And what the surveyor found out and what the surveyor told him was that there was tons of gold ore just 3 feet below that fault in the ground. So the old guy got the equipment running. He dug 3 more feet, and there was millions and millions of dollars worth of gold. So R.U. Darby learned a valuable lesson. He quit 3 feet from gold, and he quit because he did not persist. Had he persisted, he would have gotten all that gold ore, just digging 3 more feet. And so what I'm here to tell you is whatever it is in life that you want to do it until it happens. I just wanted to get that out to you today. I wanted to just talk a little bit about fear and what fear does for us. And you know, fear is just false evidence appearing real. That's all fear is. That's all it's ever been, and it's all it ever will be. It's false evidence appearing real. So I just encourage you out there, don't let anybody or anything deter you from accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish in life. Learn to address your fears. Learn to be honest about who you're being and why you're being the way you are. And do something about it. Take an action step of some sort to just do something about it. It doesn't matter. Read a book. Talk to a friend. Find a mentor. But do something that's going to help you step outside your box, outside your comfortable world, and do the things you need to do to get the things you want in life. This is Phil Walls. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I want all of you out there to have a blessed and wonderful day. And more importantly, I want you to have an abundant, healthy and abundant life. Thank you so much for watching. This is Phil Walls. Until next time, I'll talk to you. Bye-bye.